the turnover, and Boise State was very good at that. Gets a first look at the ball, but no second chance.
It's going to be important for both these teams to make sure that transition defense is key, because both these teams will burn you. They'll get a rebound and go the other direction. And of course, turnovers can lead to easy layups on the other end, too.
Open three and on the board, looking smooth. There is Malawaj, 18 points, 10 boards a game, averaging a double-double in these first 3 games. And there's the defense extending as well. A lot of length on this New Mexico team, front court to back. Aycott at the big game-winning shot in the victory at BYU, previously with Arizona. On the dribble, Abel Kijab, former Oregon Duck. Open three, but they make the extra pass, and Kijab inside. And there's the good look by Aycott. He is not just a perimeter shooter.
Well, he's a terrific passer. And a matter of fact, he has a 2-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio. He's 6'8", and the reason he was able to get that pass off, it was all predicated on the little shot fake, got New Mexico out of their stance. He was able to get in the paint and dish it off.
Boise State's trademark is perimeter defense. Really strong defending the three. Good turnover margin. See Ray J. Dennis there on the ball. Lobos deep baseline. Strong move to the hoop, but no second chance. Neither team on the offensive boards yet. Dennis with the handles. Inside, the big man, Mladen Armush.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm impressed with early on. Both these teams are doing a good job of taking away the fast break from their opponent. And both these teams offensively, early in the shot clock, are going down inside to try to get the big man involved.
And the Lobos do it as well with Rod Brown. And that's going to be a foul on New Mexico.
So what New Mexico will do here, there's a foul. They'll get a substitution in, but this gives them an opportunity. The clock is stopped. They can set up their press and make it difficult for Boise State to get the ball past the half-court line.
Byron Matos out of the game immediately. Getting some guidance on the bench. Assistant coach Scott Padgett. Quite the coaching staff that Paul Weir has. We'll talk about that as we go. All the assistants have been head coaches previously in their career. Broncos with Aycott, gives and gets. Shot clock inside of 10. There's that three from him, and he's got the range. Yeah, we've seen no early offense with the threes yet. Both teams showing patience.
I think as you get into conference play, and neither of these teams have played a whole lot of games, which is a great move to the basket by Singleton, you're trying to feel it out a little bit. I mean, New Mexico hasn't played anybody as good as Boise State, and neither team has played a conference game quite yet. So you're trying to feel everything out a little bit, see where that target is, and see what you can do against teams in your own league.
Saquon Singleton, young man from the Bronx. It's New Mexico back on top.
Oh, good look inside. See, that's great. That is great. Armish is doing a great job bodying up inside the paint. And Aycott, you talk about how good a passer he is. Looks right into him over the head. This is true. Look at the spacing. Look at the post presence by Armish. He is a big body that takes a lot of space down inside.
And made Brown commit the foul. Brown had no chance to get the body on him. Not a shooter.
But goaltend. That's
That'll be a goaltend on Vladimir Manuel, who has come in, and he's one of the tallest guys on this New Mexico team at 6'10", originally from Angola. A great junior college career at Harcum in Pennsylvania.
Oh, it's a good back down by Kijab. It goes over his left. You see how the ball is on the way down. You can't block that right there. Manuel, goaltending.
Watch for Manuel's little jump hook. Here he is down close. Give that up. Not much. That's off balance. And cleaning the board. games, level in Texas, practice. Then they didn't have any games, but they managed to get 3 in Houston thanks to Rice University. So they spent last week there. Then they came early to Boise for this 2-game series. And they will eventually end up back in Texas, and they're expecting to play at least their first 2 home weekends back in Lubbock on the campus of Lubbock Christian University.
Such unusual times that we're in. The state of New Mexico said no more than 5 people can practice at a time. And that goes for high schools as well. No contact within those 5 people. So they've spent 30 of the last 35 days together, and much of it in Texas, as you said. Coach Paul Weir has been separating the season into chapters. You know, you had the Texas chapter. Right now they're in the Boise chapter. They'll be here for a couple of straight games. And they'll move on throughout the course of the season, dividing their season into chapters in one big, large book.
In fact, we will be with the Lobos on New Year's Eve as Texas Chapter 2 begins. So the perimeter defense of the Broncos forcing the turnover. Now Boise State going to the bench out of the timeout. From the outside, Ray J. Dennis puts it down, but they have brought in Max Rice, coach's son, the sophomore, from right here in Boise. They brought Lucas Milner back up big for Armouche.
And look at this. Good deflection on the defensive end for New Mexico, trying to make their defense become their offense.
Jeremiah Francis starts it, and it is finished from the perimeter, knocked down by Keith McGee, the other senior on this team.
And it's only his second 3 of the season. He has struggled, but he is a specialty 3-point shooter, Keith McGee. He can really fill it up if he gets hot. That's huge for the Lobos, for him to hit an early 3-pointer. So a lot of deflections. This is what New Mexico prides themselves on, getting deflections in the full court, and then it just goes the other way. Francis doing a good job going down the middle of the paint, setting up a wide-open Keith McGee, and he could really fill it up, like I said. That is a sweet-looking 3-point shot.
That started with Emmanuel Quach on the deflection. And there's Francis, the transfer from North Carolina. He started at Chapel Hill, but he had a 2-year battle with injuries. I mean, this is really the first time he's been this healthy since his high school days in Ohio.
Barely played his junior and senior year.
But he clearly has acted like a leader from the beginning. And so of all the guards on this New Mexico team, Paul Weir says, well, he's definitely a point guard.
This is what happens. Another deflection. Great job by New Mexico.
Rod Brown getting a paw on it.
But when you want to play fast, you're often going to not be in defensive position in the half court. Did a good job recovering. But this is the problem New Mexico is having right now. That's at least the 5th time that I've counted. It might be more that New Mexico has not kept the ball handler in front in the half court. And so Boise State is getting all kinds of shots in the paint and in and around the rim.
Lucas Milner, his first basket. Milner, a nice backup to Armouche. And some patience and success inside for Byron Matos for the Lobos. He's been their top rebounder.
You see New Mexico, they do a lot of switching on the perimeter, pretty much switching everything out there. Screens and handoffs. You got to get a hand in his face.
Rice with a 3.
He is always in the right place at the right time. You can tell that his father is a coach.
Now the Broncos, who are still short of guards, we showed you Marcus Shaver, talked about the transfer from Portland. He's out with a foot injury, so Rice is the first guard off the bench and has been very good as the 6th man in all of the early games for the Broncos. And with that, we'll step aside again. Broncos put the lead to 5. We're near the midway point of the first half in Boise.
over 6'6". They rank 19th in all of Division I in size, and that was one of the big concerns for Paul Weir in New Mexico. So they've been overwhelming teams with their size for the first 3 games. Can't do that against Boise State. It's one of the few teams who can actually match them in their size, so he was expecting a challenge, and you're seeing it because Boise State is out rebounding the Lobos at this point in time. And Bob, the Lobos are plus 31 in the rebound category over the first 3 games of season.
Saw that great entry by Max Rice, leading to the goaltending basket. Broncos lead is 7. Turn around for Mawach. Is down. And he's shooting over 60% from the field this year. And he's hit all kinds of milestones. Had his 100th career game in the opener against Rice. Scored his 1,000th point in Game 3 against Laterno last week. Mexico's had an interesting schedule. They played Rice on Rice's home court. Then they stayed in Houston and got games in against NAIA Our Lady of the Lake. And then Division III Laterno. But they didn't even play a game until the Broncos had already played their first 5. I mean, Paul Weir was sweating getting any games in before the conference opener.
But watch this right here. Again, New Mexico gets beat off that initial drive. But then you have the insurance policy, and that's the second time that they have garnered a charge against Boise State. They're getting beat off the dribble, but that secondary helper, the help side defender coming over to take charges is their saving grace right now in the half court.
Foul is on Acott. Rod Brown, the only player in the game with 2 fouls so far. Lobos deep. Swatted away. And there is the release by Acott. All the way. Will it be and one? Not quite. But Kejab will get to the line.
And that's great recognition by Boise State. Their shot goes up. They realize that New Mexico didn't have a guy back on defense. You teach your players, shot goes up. You got to get one guy back. Some guys send 2 or 3 guys back. Some coaches do. In that case, nobody had gotten back, so it was a rebound, and then it was a race down the floor.
How about Kejab, another one of those Canadians, Dana Altman, mined for the Oregon Ducks. And he played 35 games as a freshman at Oregon. And then he made a great debut here last year. His very first game against Northridge, 33-11.
Not a bad way to start your career at your new school. Yeah, at Oregon, there was always talk about how he was one of the team's top defenders. And he's got great hands to get steals. And just a great basketball frame on him to body players up.
The Broncos keeping the Lobos at arm's length. Armouche back in. Denies. We go the other way. Again, good entry look and a finish by Kejab. Alston with the assist. The Broncos really passing the ball well, and they're getting the ball deep. New Mexico. Malawach. He's in the groove right now.
I mean, he can do it all. He hits 3-point shots. I think he's 5 of 6 from the season after that one he made here early on. And he obviously can get to the paint, but he's so good. You just saw right there, he shot faked it, took 1-2 dribbles, and shot a mid-range shot. He shoots on all 3 levels, and that's what makes him so good offensively.
Whistle, hands up. Foul is on Manuel, and we State Capitol and the home team in the conference opener up 6. Mexico shooting 69% right now. Paul Weir wanting to slow things down a little bit. It's always tough when you want to play fast, and New Mexico always does, but you don't want to play so fast it helps the other team.
You know, you talked about it. I mean, when he first got there, it was all about score, score, score. And then last year was more, they had bigger bodies. It was more like smash mouth basketball. Now it's sort of a hybrid mix that they have. You see New Mexico trapping inside the paint now.
Boise State's been patient. Acott has been super. Takes his first shot and nails it. Well, he's been rebounding. He's been dishing assists. That's his first shot, first points. Let's see New Mexico in half court. And, you know, they've got long guys who can shoot from the outside, but they've been patient. They've only taken 6 threes so far in this game. Take away. It's Ray J. Dennis to the forecourt. Key-jab spins. Another offensive foul. That's a third one.
Yeah.
Mexico doing a good job.
Well, Boise State's doing a fantastic job of beating defenders and doing what they got to do to get in the paint. Here, in this case, Key-jab just kind of doing the little slide dribble move, lulling his defender to sleep, but use his arm and kind of hook the defender. He can't do that. So they're kind of their own worst enemy when they're making plays down inside the paint. 3 offensive fouls now.
First foul on Key-jab. Lobos on the attack. McGee from the outside. Feeling good with that.
That's great for the Lobos. He was 1 of 8 coming into this game, and now he's hit 2 threes here in the first half. They need Keith McGee to knock down threes.
Keith McGee, a guy who's at home when they're practicing in West Texas. He went to South Plains in Loveland. There's Ray J. Dennis. Boy, he is really becoming a take-charge guy for this team. Just a sophomore in eligibility. Had some big moments last year. And with all the new faces, Ray J, a nice compliment to Alston in terms of leadership. Inside the 6-minute mark of the first half. Look up penetration, and there's that easy little shot for Vladimir Manuel.
He's really mastered that little hook shot going over his left shoulder. He's done it in every game this season. He's so long, it's hard to contest it. But believe it or not, I mean, he can step out and knock down the three-pointer when need be.
And we saw him early on take threes in the early games, and he has a green light to do that. Boise State back to the bench and keeping a fairly tight rotation. Next, Rice comes back in. There's Najee Smith, Jr. out of Spokane, Washington.
Well, you know, you can tell the Lobos have done their scout. Derek Olsen Jr. just cut of the game. They're doing a fantastic job when he catches the ball, smothering him. You know, since he knocked down that shot early on in the game. He is a really good set shooter, but if you make him put the ball on the floor, he's not as effective from behind the three-point line.
Alston's only attempted 2 shots in the game, the 1-3.
Boise State team has so much experience and depth. Another thing that Paul Weir was concerned about, especially early in the season. When you have a lot of experience early in the year, you're young players, and they have a ton of young players, have a hard time matching up against that.
Francis has been quiet so far. Take away. Smith. No. Follow. Yes. Ray J. It's Ray J time.
That's your guy. You're talking about him. Another guy that scores in every phase. Scores at the basket, he hits the mid-range, hits the floaters, knocks down three-point shots, and he makes plays for his teammates.
This comes out to defend. Francis. Again, that Bronco perimeter defense. Contested 3 off the mark.
Great job by Boise State to force an NBA three-pointer. Not letting them, not even just inside the paint. They're not letting them inside the three-pointer on that possession.
Jay cuts 4th rebounds. Dennis, the cutter, Rice.
Goaltending.
Another goaltend. Well, Manuel can't help being that tall. He's going to reach up and try to block that shot.
Look at Ray J. Dennis in the top right of your screen. He's coming, nobody's got a body on him, and just easily gets the ball because of his hustle and lays it in. And you talk about these goaltendings for New Mexico. They're so long. But oftentimes it's that secondary defender, this person that's coming to help the primary defender that got beat off the bounce. And they're having to go try to contest, and oftentimes they're a little late to goaltend.
Strong inside, Matos. His second basket.
That's how you want to break the press.
Good shot, air ball for Alston.
You want to break the press by getting the ball in the middle third, like those lane lines extended all the way down to the other lane lines, the middle third of the floor. You can usually get open there.
Rod Brown with a ball down low. Doesn't fall, but he got himself a shot. And you see Dennis in control, takes the three. No second chance. Rebound Matos. This year, I have liked when Matos and Brown are in at the same time. That gives the Lobos some strength underneath. They could use it right now. Boise State up 7.
This holiday,
because of their youth. I mean, New Mexico has I believe it's 12 newcomers. It's the youngest team he's ever had, so he's got to have a ball handler behind his starter, Jeremiah Francis. And Singleton's that guy who can play 1 through 4.
Second free throw, no good. Broncos on the attack. Alston. Oh, and a nice follow with the slammer.
And now you're seeing some of the things that he can do physically. And talk about a guy who hardly played his freshman year, his sophomore year, really upped that to 13 points a game, playing a ton. And junior year had a great year, and now preseason player of the year. An outstanding run his 4 years of college.
T-Jab skies for the board. Outlet too hot. There's Kurt Vegscheider, his second appearance of the game. Sophomore. And we go right back the other way. All right, let's go back and take a look at Derek Alston. He is lean, strong inside.
Well, you see, he misses a shot. Coaches teach you, follow your own shot. He did that. Nobody puts a body on him, just goes up with one hand and slams it home. 6'9", thin, like you said, lean though. He's 190. Was 148 pounds when he came to college here at Boise State.
That's amazing. By the way, that foul just now was on Rod Brown, and that was his third. And that's a challenge for the two bigs for New Mexico. We talked about Brown and Matos together. But they got to stay in the game.
Great job by Ray J. Dennis to call a timeout when he sees his teammate on the floor. That's outstanding by the leader.
Dennis in charge. Boise State continues to lead. To dominate on the boards. And we've seen the defense and the hustle, and this guy, Ray J. Dennis, well, he had it coming out last year against Utah State. The Broncos came from way down in the final 3.5 minutes, and he hadn't been scoring a lot of points, and he has this outburst that took a game to OT, and then the Broncos won it.
That was his coming out party. Oh, we got 3 seconds. Somebody's got to get a shot up.
Max Rice. No.
But you're right, Bob. I mean, they were down 18 in that game versus Utah State with 4 minutes to go. In 3.5 minutes, Ray J. Dennis scored 19 points on 5 of 5 shooting. 4 of those were threes, and then knocked down 5 free throws as well.
Space underneath, good patience, and there's the finish for Vegscheider. Vegscheider came out of the NBA Africa program, a young person identified. He's from the Central African Republic, and he, along the way, he played in Basketball Without Borders tournaments all over the world. But even as just a sophomore, he has played in a lot of different venues. Very good defender.
T-Jab loves that slide dribble. You can't rest for long, though. New Mexico takes it right to you on the other end.
McGee, another good defensive stand. Lobos with a minute left in the half. Vegscheider. There's Singleton. So this is what Singleton can do from the perimeter. Pass is taken away. Look out! Alston incoming!
Outstanding. Got to make your defense become your offense. If New Mexico's not going to get back on shots, or if they turn the basketball over, you get opportunities to go the other way.
Alston now 9 points on 4 of 6 shooting. Looks like Boise's going to get it again. Held ball. And we're going to the other end.
Derek Alston Jr. gets the steal. It only takes him 4 dribbles to go the other direction and slam it home. And when you have that kind of length, it's just natural. If you're active and you have active hands and you're an anticipatory defender, you're going to get deflections and steals and be able to go the other way. He is as complete as they come, especially for a 6'9" guy that can play both inside and out.
Well, Lobo's able to get to the bench and get into full court pressure. 1 second differential, shot clock and game clock. Broncos up 8. Looking to extend at the half, and they have two dangerous guys, Alston and Dennis. Both have been good in the first half. Dennis looking for a pick. 10 seconds. Gonna have to trigger here. Aycott comes out for it. Aycott keeps it. Up, in, and one. What a great way to finish the half for the Broncos.
That is a Lobos coaching staff nightmare. You're already down in last possession, and one to go into the break. And that's what you do. That's what you teach your players at the end of a shot clock, at the end of a game clock. Attack the rim. Attack the rim. And Aycott's not afraid to do that. He absorbs the contact on two guys and gets to and one.
Well, we talked about the Boise State newcomers. They've all been in the program for a year. Aycott, who played 48 games for Arizona. We are still waiting to see Devonair Dutrieve, who is going to be pretty exciting after leaving the Cats. Arbush, big man inside for East Tennessee. And Marcus Shaver, who again is out with a foot injury right now, but did start the early games for the Broncos. He was the Portland Pilots' leading scorer his first 2 years. Sat out a year, and those early games this year, he looked like he was ready to take charge of the offense.
And he did. And what an advantage for Boise State to have four guys that sat out a year ago, that learned the system, that know how the coaches coach, that know what the expectations are. And you spend all year doing that. Sometimes the best players in practice, and then to be able to play the next season and play out their eligibility, that's rare. 4 transfers sitting out and playing the next year that are all big impacts for this squad.
And it's hard to even call them newcomers, really.
That's right.
Been with the team. Here's Aycott. Look at his numbers. He's got 4 of each. Misses the free throw. And the Lobos will step on the line, and that is it. First half comes to an end. Or are we getting in an inbound? I think Leon Rice wants an inbound play because the whistle blew with the Lobo player stepping on the line.
Well, that would be, I understand why Coach Leon Rice wants it. Obviously, it's an opportunity to get another to coach your team. So let's just say there's half a second on there, or a couple of tenths. They can practice something here, and yeah, of course they're trying to score, but they could practice something here that may benefit them down the road when it counts for real at the end of a game.
And Dennis had to go back for that ball.
I mean, that could be a half a second. That could be 5 tenths, 4 or 5 tenths on the clock.
That's the thing. What are they going to? Will they put more back? Because at some point you can't even do a catch and shoot. But even inbound play.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what Leon Rice is thinking about right now.
Yeah, you always look for opportunities in game situations to make your team better. Hey, look, they may completely screw up this play. It may not happen for them, but later in the season, they're in the same situation. They're like, hey, remember that time we were in at New Mexico and then we practiced it because we didn't run it right that first time? Or remember when it was successful against New Mexico? Let's do it again. And then maybe it benefits them. Look, 7 tenths of a second.
Wow.
You
can get a shot off now.
Now you can get a shot off.
Opportunity.
And if you may get one really quick bounce, but it's probably going to be somebody coming off a screen, catch and shoot.
Well, and you saw in the huddle, most of the conversation was directed at Aycott and Keychap, so it's one of those two.
If you're going to get a dribble, you have to be cutting towards the basket, so your momentum is pushing you forward, and then maybe a floater in the lane.
And I would say the way he's played so far, Aycott is the guy.
Look at Max Rice on the opposite block. I think it's going to him.
It's deflected, and that's it. So they can't get the ball in bounds, but it's been a pretty good first 20 minutes at the beginning of Mountain West Conference play for the Boise State Broncos. They are up 10 thanks to Derek Alston doing it all inside and out. Boise, Idaho. Mountain West Conference opener. The Boise State Broncos with a 10-point lead over the New Mexico Lobos. And this is the new normal for college basketball broadcasting. I'm Bob Akamian. He's Richie Schuler. Let's take a look at our first half stats from this game. Boise State doing what you would expect them to do, taking control on the boards, shooting smart percentage, and doing very well in the paint, even against a very long New Mexico team.
Well, that's what Boise State's been doing a good job of all season. Both these teams doing a great job of rebounding, but Boise State is a little bit longer, a little bit taller, and they're using those bodies on the rebounding a little bit better.
Well, Leon Rice told us the other day that Derek Olsen is the best basketball player on this team, and I think we're seeing why.
Well, he can do a little bit of everything. I mean, he's 4 of 6 from the field for 9 points right now. He's hitting 1 of 2 threes, couple of dunks, but you see the defensive end creating offense on the other side. He doesn't get enough credit for his ability to set up his teammates and the passing that he has created for his teammates here in this game already.
There's Alston as we come out for the second half. We'll see what adjustments New Mexico makes. Maybe some new combinations. Now you saw some doses of Kurt Wegscheider, who's been playing in, again, little bites on offense. Lobos have other point guards. We saw a lot of McGee in the first half, and he showed some flash offense and defense. And Paul Weir, a lot to work with right now, trying to put the pieces together.
His squad seems a little bit uncomfortable playing the pace that they're playing right now. Credit Boise State. They're making them play in the half court. Their offense is somewhat stagnant sometimes some not great shots taken from the outside. I expect to see them try to pick up the pace and go full court a little bit here in the second half. A little bit more full court, trapping and pressing and trying to force turnovers.
Good switch of direction with the ball. Now key jam back to the top. A.J. Dennis, a cut from the corner. He's working his way in. Nice fall away. Off the mark. Armouche can't quite get it. Lobos have it. Well, that's the question I was going to ask you to put on your coaching hat. Got a man down underneath. That is McGee.
McGee, you hate to see that. Hit a couple of three-pointers early.
Getting up quickly, so we'll see him walk through that. Yeah, he was off to a really good start. Here's how he landed.
He may have rolled his ankle. Looks like it's the right ankle, yes. He's hopping off on one leg by himself now towards the back of the bench. You hate to see that because he's a player with experience, and New Mexico doesn't have a lot of that. And he is in some pain.
One of only 2 seniors. Not with Malwatch. No, so I'm asking you now as a coach, and you kind of alluded to that a moment ago. Boise State's half-court defense is so good. If you're New Mexico, take the chance and start pushing them.
Yeah, and there's danger in that. Now, if you start trying to trap more in the full court, and then you trap at half court, you might give up some layups, dunks, open threes. Oh, here we go.
Hey, cut. And he'll get to the line.
Teams that usually spend a lot of time pressing full court, they're not always great in the half court defensively. And because a lot of this game is half court basketball, you know, we've talked about New Mexico getting beat off the bounce quite a bit, and it's the secondary helpers for New Mexico that are having to make plays. But sometimes that results in fouls. But if they can just pressure full court and actually get some steals for layups, the tides could turn quite a bit. There's danger in that because, like I was saying before the play happened there, Boise State continues to beat that defense. They're going to get layups and easy shots. So you could blow this thing wide open if it's not effective in your full court trap.
2 fouls now on Emmanuel Quatch. Boise State lead 11. We talk about Lobos pressure. Broncos extending the defense still. Francis has not got a lot going yet, but he's sharing the ball. There's a second chance. Allen taken away. Here comes Alston with space, and again to the rack.
And Boise State is doing everything on the defensive end. How many deflections have they gotten in this game? Steals go the other direction.
11 now for Alston. And, you know, if you watch that first game of the year at Houston. Of course, difficult matchup with the Houston backcourt. Alston was not a factor on offense, and, it was kind of let out that he was going to be a willing passer this year, so maybe those numbers would be down. But, boy, tonight he's been a prime offensive option. Got with the rebound. Lobos will get Rod Brown back in.
Well, again, it's Derek Alston with the defensive play, and as a result, his teammate rewards him going the other direction. That's 3 dunks now for Derek Alston. If there was a crowd here right now, they would be going electric in this moment.
Well, the bench is.
That's true.
And Ray J. Dennis, more good recognition. I don't think Marcus Shaver is itching to get back now the way Ray J's taking charge. But, it's just going to be an embarrassment of riches for the Broncos at guard. Now, they're really playing 7, 8 guys right now. And they're going to be able to play 10 if they want to. Let's see what the Lobos can do here. Rod Brown just came back in. He's deep with the reach. I think he might have shuffled the feet, but he was fouled first.
Everybody's entitled to that vertical cylinder. I'm not sure that was a vertical cylinder call. I think it was just a reach-in foul.
Brown has 3 fouls, so he's been on the bench. Has no boards yet. Hasn't made a shot.
That's going to be player control on Derek Alston. He feels like, he's talking to the official as he does some sit-ups. Why not get a little workout in? Yeah, but look at Derek Alston here. I think he feels like it should be a player control foul. He feels like the shoulder was thrown into him by Singleton, but the official looked at it the other way.
Alston's second. And down comes to Brown. Laying up high. Now Malawach, baseline, sweet.
He's got such a quick first step.
9 points, 2 boards. Watch Malawach. And he didn't have a lot of room either.
He's a guy that's 9-10 points a game for 3 years, and now he's busted out for 18 a game.
Turnover. Ball handling error for Akon. Let's go back to the other end of
Malawach, and he's able to get around. See, there's 2 big defenders around him, but he's able to finish. He's got a 6'11" wingspan, and he's 6'5".
He's always been a very quiet guy on the court. Paul Weir thinks he's coming out of the shell. He's the experienced guy now. He should be telling his teammates what to do. And Kejab didn't get caught again. That'll be 3 on him. And Max Rice quickly into the game for Akon. And now Kejab will probably sit as Najee Smith quickly comes to the table.
Coach Paul Weir talked a lot about how, early on they were picking up full court. I think you alluded to it earlier, but they're making some baby steps towards where they want to go. But lately they've slowed down their game a little bit. I think they're going to try to speed it up more as the season goes on, but there's some growing pains with it right now.
They did give the foul to Armush, so that is just his first. Kejab does just have 2, but he came out anyway. I think the coaching staff wasn't sure either, so they took him out just to be safe. So now you have the 2 former AAU teammates in there together for the Broncos. Najee Smith, who's from Spokane, and of course Max Rice from here at Bishop Kelly High School. They played together on the same AAU team. Armush strong, back up. No, but he'll get to the line.
And you see how much space he takes. He's not just 6'10", he's 230. And look how big and wide his shoulders are. That presence down inside allowed, he was able to take out, I think, Malawach, who's much smaller than him, as he was blocking him out, get the rebound, and then go right back up for the second effort.
He's from Belgrade in Serbia, but finished up his prep career in Little Rock at Southwest Christian. Went to East Tennessee and started 29 games over 2 years.
He played in the U17 World Championships for Serbia. He was invited for the U20 Euro Championships.
One of 2 Serbs on this team. We have not seen Pavle Kuzmanovic yet. 6'5" freshman. A lot of good good Serbian basketball that you're seeing in the U.S. right now.
Thank you. And this is good. Boise State trying to do everything they can to make this a half-court offensive game for New Mexico. See how the ball has not entered inside the three-point line yet. They're a little bit now.
That's Malawach.
Oh. What a great play by Malawach. The whole key, if you're on the wing and you're a good offensive basketball player, is to attack the middle. The help side rotation is on the baseline. Malawach uses his left hand, beats his man off the dribble, gets in the paint, and good things happen for an offensive player. Bad things happen for a defensive player when you get in the paint.
Haycott back in. Smith out. Here it is again.
Alston led him inside. And he gets two dribbles inside the paint. Piece of the arm and an and one.
Armush. Looking for the board.
I like this pressure by New Mexico here.
So that was Armush's second foul. And again, you talked about not overdoing it on the defense, so they do just that. Make the Broncos hesitate at midcourt. Dennis. Chapine. Haycott. You could take this. McIron, no second chance. There's Brown getting strong on the board. His first rebound of the game.
Oh, look at the hustle.
And there's Max Rice chasing it down.
I love that's the second time I can remember him diving on the floor for a loose ball. Every coach's dream.
The coach's kid, he grew up in this town. Now he's part of the Boise State Broncos.
'Tis the season to save a bundle. Bundle auto and home and save up to 25% with Allstate. Bundling just feels good this time of year. Saving is easy when you're in good hands. Call a local agent or 1-800-ALLSTATE for a quote today.
Draft. Malachi Flynn going to the Raptors out of San Diego State. Boise State pretty excited about Justinian Jessup, who was chosen by the Warriors. He's in Australia right now and already putting up points in the NBL's exhibition season.
And what I think there's cool, too, is Jalen Harris, Malachi Flynn, arguably the two best players in the conference a year ago, both got drafted to the Toronto Raptors. And Sam Merrill with the Milwaukee Bucks right now. I think those guys can really have an impact on these teams. But I think it's really cool that 4 players from the Mountain West got drafted. It's outstanding reputation for the league.
Good work inside and the finish by Manuel. And it's tough when you're meeting the 6'10 guy at the rim. Biggest lead has been 13 for the Broncos.
That's a flop.
Replay on. This has been a lightly officiated game. We have only taken 12 free throws.
I like that. Looking inside. Good job. Good pass by Rod Brown. You see a big man down inside. In that case, it was Manuel. And he's getting great position against the big man from Boise State. Give him the ball. Let the big man eat. Let him go to work down inside. Look at that position. He's got the whole paint to himself. He's got 3 seconds to work with it. And the foul's called on Armush.
That's 3 on Armush.
Well, they want to get him in foul trouble because without him down inside, it's a little bit easier in scoring points in the paint.
You know, it was amazing in Boise State's win at BYU that both Armush and Lucas Milner fouled out. And Boise was still able to get the great look at the end. Acott putting down that shot, but you would have thought all is lost on the road without the bigs. And Broncos found a way that night. Armush now does set.
New Mexico's feeling it right now. There's a couple of back-to-back baskets. Now here's what happens. You press, you leave open shooters. They just can't give Boise State a second opportunity. Great job by Boise. You're wide open against the press in the opposite wing. Knock down that three-point shot, but then you go ahead and get an offensive rebound. Like we said earlier, New Mexico have been out-rebounding their first 3 opponents. Now 2 of them 91 by 31. But they've never played against size like this in Boise State.
So Milner to the line. The Broncos haven't scored a basket in 4 minutes. Milner in for Armush. Malvoch's second foul. He comes out. Singleton back in. Now Matos coming in. And Valdir Manuel sits.
I'm liking this run by New Mexico. I'm wondering if they can keep it going. Okay. See if you can look back inside to the big fella. See if you can get a couple extra passes, ball reversals for drives to the basket. Got to get this offense going here in the half court.
Keep an eye on Singleton. Got the ball now. Inside Brown. Francis looking to swing. Keeps the dribble. Greg Scheider is in. Francis shot clock inside at 10. Francis will take the screen. Stop and pop. Offensive board. Scheider gets it right back. Third chance for the Lobos, and a foul on Boise State.
I don't think we would have had that in the first half. I mean, Boise State was on those rebounds. You know, rebounded them 16-9 in the first. Now you're seeing some second chances for New Mexico.
Foul is on Dennis, his second. And New Mexico goes in the bonus first, just inside the 14-minute mark. So free throws may start telling a story.
Yes. New Mexico not a great free throw shooting team. Only 60%. Leaving some points on the board. That doesn't help.
1 of 6 now for the game. Broncos a little off their free throw game too in the early going. Boise State going to break the basket drought.
Nice move.
Oh, Dennis.
That's a great hesitation move.
I'll let everybody go by me.
Yes. That is a fantastic move. Ray J. Dennis, I'm telling you, he looks so much more comfortable and confident in his sophomore year. He's made a big leap from freshman to sophomore year.
Matos inside. Rebound tipped out. Acott. Boy, the ball has been in Acott's hands how many times?
He can really handle it for a big fella, no doubt.
Good movement here. Rice is open. Take the easier shot. And does. Had the 3, but recognized some space in the paint.
Again, all about that shot fake. All about that shot fake. Got his defender off the ground, and then just had to beat one man down inside the paint.
Good push. Scheider will get to the line.
I mean, watch Ray J. Dennis right here. I mean, just little move, little spin move. Acts like he's going to spin again. Did a little okey-doke, and then finishes with the right hand. And then Rice, watch the shot fake. Gets his defender up in the air, and then it's just all the way to the basket, having to beat one man in Matos.
Now his foul was on Rice, his second. So Scheider to the line.
And see what happens is defensively, New Mexico will pick up full court. If they're not forcing turnovers, by the time the ball crosses half court for Boise State, the defense isn't quite set. And so therefore you get 4-on-3s, 3s-on-2s, and you get those opportunities to beat one man to the basket.
Lobos need to take advantage of the bonus here. Now just 1 of 7 at the line. Milner coming out high for the ball. Looks for Rice underneath. A cut. Less than 10 on the shot clock. Dennis will do it by himself. Back iron, no second chance. Rebound from Malawach. Malawach's third board. And the Lobos come down. Contact away from the ball.
They're going to call it down inside. I think that was Manuel in his post positioning on Alston. And they called an offensive foul on him as he was trying to get post position down on the block.
It's Manuel's first foul. And Boise State has the ball back. Again, Lobos' chance to get back in pressure. There's Dennis again, shifting gears. Out on the left side, key jab. Aycott. Everyone touching the ball. Clock winding down. Aycott for 3. No. Lobos getting some chances here to cut into the lead.
You know what? They are. And they're doing a pretty good job of getting the ball in the paint, either with a drive or a pass. They're just not knocking down a lot of the shots. They're not finishing down inside. A lot of that's because of Boise State's size like that. They've got to knock some of these down.
12th New Mexico turnover. Dennis at the other end. Gets it and will get to the line.
He has really become a great player. Wow, Ray J. Dennis putting this team on his back.
Before you go over the river and through the woods this holiday season, remember, safe drivers save 40% with Allstate.
Great action by Ray J. Dennis, the sophomore point guard, absorbs the contact on 2 bodies, and you see the man move, the flex down inside the paint. Plays with so much confidence, gets the and one here right before he went to break, and it was Coach Leon Rice that told us yesterday he's a Chicago kid and has that moxie to him. You can't put your thumb on it, but when you see it, you know it. And he's having a terrific game here tonight.
First free throw for Dennis, who now has a dozen. And the lead is now 14, and that is the biggest margin of the game for Boise State. So they weathered that storm. And they had their little drought offensively, but held the fort defensively.
Good work down inside. Again, Manuel trying to post up on Armish. As he's getting post positioning there in the left block, call a foul on Armish. And that's what you want. You want your big men to collect fouls down inside. Get your team shooting free throws. And as you said earlier, Bob, New Mexico's already in the bonus, so they're going to get a lot of free throws the rest of the way. They just have to convert, which they haven't done tonight.
No, in fact, since they got the bonus, they're missed the front end of 2 one-on-ones. So let's see what Manuel can do. He's 1 of 2 at the line on the season. Remember, they've only played 3 games. You realize, we were supposed to be here on December 3rd. That's when this series was originally scheduled. And that would have been New Mexico's opener. You don't think Paul Weir would have been sweating that? It was the very first game.
Well, they delayed it because they had less than 3 weeks, 2 weeks of practice. They had a live practice, really. Much live practice since February, so they didn't want to get their guys hurt.
No. At least they got the 3 games in.
Big guy. He can do it all. Can he do it all? He can pass it. He can shoot it. He can get to the paint any which way. And don't even let me talk about his defense. He's a player.
He's got 7, 6, and 4 now. Very balanced effort. He has been the consistent force in this game for the Broncos. Nice finish. Javonte Johnson seeing early action here. Freshman out of Cheyenne Mountain High School, Colorado Springs. Fighting for the board. He's got 4 fouls. Where are we going with that? It's going to be a Boise ball. Here we go. Javonte Johnson, 6'6", 190, All-State in Colorado. Had a great junior year. Real hustler on defense. Gets down on the ground going after loose balls. Correcting Armouche, he has 3 fouls.
That's when he used the glass. Ray J. Dennis. He's feeling good.
Horizontal at the end of that. Dennis has 14 now.
I'm telling you, he's come alive. He is going to be a force to be reckoned with throughout his time at Boise State.
The Broncos getting the balance on offense that Leon Rice wants. There's Manuel, that sweet little turn. Manuel's going to get a lot of points on that shot. T-jab into the other end.
Those guys just run the floor so well. We keep talking about the length and the guys that can score for Boise State and how good they have been on defense and rebounding. But, man, they run the floor, and they're playing the
return to Extra Mile Arena in Boise. Christmas Day, we got great Big Ten basketball, and we've got an NFL special. The Vikings, the Saints. Coverage beginning at 3:30 Eastern on Fox. Also available on NFL Network and streaming on Prime Video.
2 questions for you.
Yes.
Are you watching? And if you are, who you taking?
That game?
Yep.
Well, it's kind of go time for the Saints.
I know.
But last week was not impressive.
Yeah. I like Mike Zimmer, though, so I'm pulling for the Vikings.
Boise State Broncos up 15 inside the 10-minute mark. Lobos continue to shuffle the deck. Paul Weir using all of his new pieces. There's Malwatch.
A lot of physicality down inside on the rebound. Looks like
it's against the Lobos. It's going to be Matos. Be his second.
Mladen Armish, down inside, number 33 for Boise State, has been involved with a lot of physicality in the post. Post-ups by New Mexico, rebounds. What a presence down inside.
And I think Leon Rice is going to be happy if he commits fouls because he is a disruptor. And there he kicks it out to the perimeter. And the bench, plenty to get excited about. Alston up to 14. So Alston and Dennis each with 14 now. Both 6 of 10 from the field. The Broncos are close to having up to 5 guys in double figures. 7 straight for Boise State.
I just don't think that's a great shot right there.
Javonte Johnson. Dennis.
He's dangerous when he's set.
Alston. Oh, that's just too easy.
In both these last possessions for Boise State, he has had his feet set. All he has to do is catch and shoot. And it's nothing but net both times.
Don't play him for money. That's his 3rd 3. Inside, Jeremiah Francis. Quick release. Uh-oh. Oh, off the glass and draws the foul. And he made the right decision there. Could have tried for the power move, but this way he gets the free throw at the end of it.
Great pass, open 3-point shot in the corner. Look at the arc on that shot, and then boom, takes the contact on Malawatch and just lays it in with a finger roll off the glass.
Right now, you can get a free breakfast Baconator with any order in the Wendy's app, so you can shake up and wake up your breakfast. We're bringing that big bacon energy all day long, so you can always be baconating with a free breakfast Baconator.
This holiday,
substituting for fans this year. And that pup is Stella Rice, the favorite dog of head coach Leon Rice. Stella gets to come to practice every day and be on the floor here. And if Leon had his way, Stella would be out here in these games because there's a lot more room.
There is. You know, Coach Rice says sometimes he'll look around and he'll just look up in the hallways above the seats and he'll see Stella running around having a ball. But it's amazing that Stella knows when they huddle up to end practice, she goes right into the huddle and circles up with the rest of the team.
This has not been a outstanding free throw exhibition tonight for either team. By the way, Stella was sitting next to a cutout of the president of Boise State, Marlene Trump, showing her support with the cutout. That's been a really fun thing at every level of sport around the country, and professional teams, college teams. There's the president right there.
How about that?
And of course, the president's got a big job right now because they're looking to hire a new athletic director. Boise State with an interim right now. That's going to be a big hire over the year. They just started with the search firm.
It's always a big decision in a great athletic program like Boise State.
And I believe that is the younger Rice son to the left of Stella. Now there's another Rice dog, Zara, who's brand new puppy. Zara is not behaving well enough yet to be allowed in practice here.
Stella needs to train Zara.
By the way, we are not playing basketball because the officials are trying to decide if a foul was committed.
Well,
you see Matos playing bumper cars with Acott. Now there was contact.
Are they trying to find out if this is a flagrant foul? So, I mean, are they looking for a common foul or are they looking for a flagrant foul? I mean, where a flagrant one would be it's excessive in nature, it's unnecessary.
It wouldn't seem to be flagrant.
Yeah.
Officials, Eric Curry, Gregory Nixon, Kevin Brill tonight.
All right, let's play on.
Well, nothing's been posted as a foul, so they choose to do nothing, we're told.
In the days of COVID, we don't get explanations from officials like we used to.
I know. You know, we feel pretty fortunate, though. You saw where we get to sit. We are still courtside, just further away from the court as usual. Not every arena in the country allows announcers that opportunity. But we do get spoiled when we have officials come over and tell us what they're inquiring about. Still a low ball. Shot clock at 8.
I mean, you see them really trying to pump the ball. I mean, Vegscheider did a good job of getting the paint and trying to dump it down inside to Matos. They're not connecting perfectly, this New Mexico team, on those plays, but when they do, they got guys that can finish in the paint. They can be really good down inside there.
Not much reliable to take that shot from the outside. Armush.
I don't think he knew what to do with the ball.
No.
Might be overturned, yes.
Goes back to Villalobos.
And that's credit to New Mexico. As soon as Armush got the ball, you saw two players in red jerseys surrounding him, hounding him, making it difficult. Just like little pests around him. Like 3 red jerseys, actually.
Brown, Wegscheider got in there. I keep noticing Wegscheider doing little things on defense. Good skills. Spin. Brown trying to tip it, but it's out of bounds to Boise State.
You know, I really feel, I mean, this is probably the slowest paced game that New Mexico's played all season. They had 2 scrimmages. They've had 3 regular season games all last week, weren't they? Last week and a half. And here they are having to play a slower pace than I believe they've played in any of those games. And they're having to adjust to that. They're forced to play their half-court offense. This is a team with 12 newcomers, only 2 seniors, and not a lot of experience against a Boise State squad that's just loaded with experience.
New Mexico sees Nevada next. Yeah, there's only 2 seniors on the team, and there's Keith McGee, who you saw go out earlier with the ankle. getting some ice right now. We hope that is not serious.
And that's a big blow.
He was contributing.
He was
in the game.
He was. That's a big blow for New Mexico. You hope and wonder, can he play on Wednesday when these teams rematch?
These are 2-game series in the Mountain West this year. Good job drawing the foul by Kejab. See, that's a new dynamic for coaches this year, Richie. The 2-game series. And we've been kind of debating, is this helpful now for the road teams? Because you travel play, then you get a day off to adjust. Does it benefit the team that lost because they can make adjustments?
You seem to think that the team on the road has a benefit in the second game.
I do.
Well, you were maybe proven correct, as Air Force and Nevada just played their 2-game series. And Air Force came and won that second game at Nevada. And, I think a lot of it comes down to who's healthy. Like right now,
Yes.
It takes a while to get over an ankle injury, whatever Keith McGee's got going on. But if he's not healthy when they play in 2 days, Boise State's at a major advantage.
So the upcoming schedule, 2 teams meet here again on Wednesday. And then Boise will go to Phoenix and play a series, yes, Phoenix, with San Jose State. Because the Spartans have relocated because of restrictions in the Bay Area, so they're playing at Grand Canyon University's arena. You gotta keep track of all this.
You do, and I would say the other thing. The second game, I think, is advantage home team. They've slept in their own bed. They've gone to see their own trainers, athletic trainers. It's just I think it's just a more comfortable feeling for that home team. But yeah, 5 series at home, 5 series on the road for every team in the Mountain West. And you play both games against the same opponent in the same place.
And then the total result is there will be 20 conference games, which is more this year. Plus, by starting league play this early in December, there will be a pad of a week. Conference tournament still begins March 10th at Thomas and Mack, but there'll be about a week, so if there's a need to make up games, there will be an opportunity for everybody to play as many league games as possible. The Mountain West will allow teams to be in the tournament without playing the full 20, but we want to give every opportunity for everyone to get as many as possible. Fouls on Acott, his second. New Mexico now in the double bonus. And they're starting to hit some free throws now. They're starting out 1 for 5.
You see how high that ball went? I mean, that could have hit the shot clock. That is precision on that layup.
Dennis, 16, 7 of 11. Brown trying to find some space. He'll get to the line. Let's take a look at Dennis again.
I mean, it's great passing by Boise State. And look, he gets in the paint. He sees a long-armed shot blocker. And look how high he floats that up. I mean, that's terrific. It's hard enough to get a layup in traffic over a big body, but that high up?
And he changes speed on that step, too. He makes you hesitate. Between him and, we talk about Marcus Shaver, who's out, and Shaver is legendary for that, just changing direction on the slash. So between the two of them, they are a challenge to defend. Kejab went out with his 4th foul. Max Rice comes in.
You talk about Shaver. How much deeper and better is this Boise State team going to be when Marcus Shaver Jr. is back from foot injury? And on top of that, the Arizona transfer, when he is eligible to play, which is any moment, Devonair Dutrieve. This team has some serious depth, and maybe some of the best depth in the conference.
Yeah, with the NCAA waiver being approved, Dutrieve is 1 step closer, but not tonight. Maybe Wednesday. There he comes. Makes it look easy. He's got 9. Logan Padgett in for the first time for New Mexico. Son of assistant coach Scott Padgett. There's Manuel. And the follow-up, and there's Vegscheider.
There you go. Now see, everybody's up on defense, nobody back. See, they match up full court sometimes after a made shot. And then it becomes a one-on-one race battle up the floor. If you can deliver the ball on a silver platter and get somebody a shot up the floor, you can get yourself 2 points.
Matos back in for Manuel. Boise State ripped off 15 straight to push this lead before New Mexico got the last basket. Johnson, no. Mush from behind blocks it out of bounds. Now the Broncos bring Milner back in for Armush. That's 3 points, 5 boards. They are really a nice 1-2 inside. We've seen Milner be strong as well tonight. Lobos will bring it in. Getting down to the final 4 minutes. Boise State can go 5-1 with their first conference victory. Same 2 teams Wednesday right here. Loose ball, another takeaway for the Broncos. Other end, Alston a little off balance, but he will shoot. Now 14 turnovers for New Mexico.
See, that comes with a lot of youth. Like we said, all the newcomers that they have, a lot of young freshmen, sophomores, and not a whole lot of time to practice. And we touched on it earlier, but the state of New Mexico not allowing them to practice and play in their home states. They've had to move around, and it's a tough time to have such a young team.
Clay Patterson in for the first time for New Mexico. Popular loco from Rio Rancho. Started at Fort Lewis.
New Mexico Gatorade Player of the Year 4 years ago, 2016.
He's a good ball handler, and he is an option. In fact, he's played in the first half of some of the other games this year. See him bring the ball down now against Dennis. Austin missing the free throws. He has 20, his season high 23. That was against Weber State. The last game the Broncos played prior to tonight on December 13th. Wakescheider inside. Free throws coming up. The Boise State Broncos in One thing that's going to help this New Mexico team with all the young newcomers is this experienced coaching staff. Paul Weir, over the last 2 years, has brought in a bunch of coaches, all who were former head coaches somewhere in some pretty good pedigree. You look at Dave Filipovich. He was a head coach in Air Force. He knows this league.
Yeah, this coaching staff right here, tied for the most former head coaches of any level on a Division I staff. There he is, Coach Filipovich. And I thought over his last several years at the Air Force Academy, such a challenging job from a basketball standpoint. I thought he did some of the best coaching jobs in the conference over the last few years. Just an outstanding coach, just a difficult job to win a lot of games. But talk about Coach Weir having so much trust in his coaches, guys that have done it before. He can walk away in a huddle at times and allow his coaches to do their work in timeouts.
Yeah, we've seen that quite a bit in the early games. And you saw Filipovich talking to Scott Padgett. You know that name from Kentucky basketball. And, of course, his son in the game right now, Logan. Logan was playing extensively at Samford. Followed his dad here. There he is.
It takes a strong coach, mentally, one that's not insecure, to hire guys with that kind of experience, especially coaches who have more experience than him. There's Coach Scott Padgett right there. His last, the head coach at Samford. But, you know, to be able to delegate and give responsibilities to coaches that normally you as a head coach would take, he has to do that. And what better time than to do it right now with such a young squad?
Now, nothing about this season is usual. And in some ways, that might be good for teams with not a lot of new people, because you didn't have as many non-conference games. So you really got to look at people. I mean, already we've seen Paul's been playing 16 guys a game. He's like, why not? Got to find out the combinations, find out what they can do. There's Alston wide open. He's not perfect tonight. Oh, Acott. Nice tap back inside. Keyjab.
I like the way the ball moves for Boise State. Not moving right now, but everybody usually gets a touch of the ball. Great passing teams oftentimes are great shooting teams, and that is not a guy you want to foul. Matos trying to defend Acott's three-point shot, and now you give him 3 free throws.
That'll be Matos' 4th.
Ball goes right back to him. He steps into a shot after one dribble. You want to contest the shot. Just not get a piece of the hand or the arm.
Acott is the highest rated prep that Leon Rice has ever gotten. Now, he didn't recruit him, but, you know, he was at Wasatch Academy in Utah, which cranks out a lot of talent. He was a 4-star guy. After the transfer from Arizona, you can see why.
Now, he's a guy you may see on the Canadian Olympic team one day. From Canada, Winnipeg, Manitoba, played on the U17 World Championships team. I mean, he's a guy you might see playing in the Olympics. Just such a long athlete, but he is so good, so smart, so incredibly skilled. I've been impressed. I've been really blown away by how well he handles the ball and passes it tonight.
And well back in for the Lobos. Nolan Dorsey in for the first time, freshman from North Carolina, the Raleigh area. And we talked about Pavle Kuzmanovic earlier. He's in for the first time, the other Serbian, the freshman. And Armush, who did not know each other previously. A little age difference, different areas, but become fast friends.
It's going to be interesting to see how these teams play any differently 2 days from now.
Yes.
Keyjab just does his thing down inside, doesn't he? But how is New Mexico going to come back on Wednesday? What strategies are they going to change that didn't work for them tonight? What adjustments will they make? And, you know, I think a lot of it's going to be, they're going to be expecting to have to play half-court offense as much as they did tonight. You know, their press really didn't garner too many turnovers.
No.
So they're going to have to figure out something different Either they're going to have to completely sell out to full court trap, half court trap, and just really bring the pressure, or they're going to have to be a little bit more fluid on the offensive end in the half court to generate opportunities to score. And what would you change if you were Boise State?
Not much. I think the perimeter defense was excellent. They got on the boards. Got a variety of scoring. They've got 4 players in double figures. I think they'd like to see Marcus Shaver, and they would definitely like to see Dutrieve get into the game. And that's, again, just a bonus. They clearly have a rotation they can live with.
It almost was an alley-oop pass, although I don't think it was meant to be. Look, this New Mexico team has players. They've got guys that can play. They're just inexperienced. They got a terrific coaching staff. Oh, that one could drop. They got a terrific coaching staff. They've just got to get some more experience. They've had a lack of practices. And I know Coach Paul Weir is frustrated by that, but this is the world of COVID. Unfortunately, it's the cards they're dealt.
That was Cason Pryor in the game, by the way, for the first time for Boise State. Took that last shot. He was fighting for the ball there, but no chance against Quach, who has that massive vertical. Make that look easy. Now the Lobos at the line. Just over a minute to go. So same 2 teams Wednesday here. And then New Year's weekend, the 2-game series continue. And Boise State plays San Jose State in Phoenix. New Mexico hosts Nevada in Lubbock. So none of these teams are playing in home arenas. And of course, this just the start of a great winter. Mountain West Conference basketball in FS1. We're looking forward to bringing it to you.
That's a really good pass, by the way.
Lucas Milner with the finish. And a timeout. And Donovan Ivory in for the first time for Boise State. And this is a transfer who just became eligible. Was out of Appleton, Wisconsin. Was at UMass Lowell for a semester. Lobos looking for the attack. So I think we've kind of gone through this, but Richie, the takeaway is Boise State knows an awful lot for having only played 6 games.
This team is for real, and we're not even seeing their full allotment of players. Another foul and a jump shot here. But Boise State should very well be in contention to win the Mountain West Conference. And you know what? It was something that Paul Weir had stated. He's the best team he's seen on film all year, and he feels like they're in line to potentially win it. But there's some good players in this league. San Diego State, Utah State. Could go on down the line, but there's going to be a lot of teams trying to compete for that conference title. But Boise State, no doubt, is one of the teams at the top of the list.
Well, here's what the media poll came up with, and no question, the Aztecs are the favorite. Utah State getting a couple of first-place votes. The Aggies opened with a big 45-point win over San Jose State tonight in their first conference game.
But you never really know. We'll see, through the first couple weeks of conference play, how it's starting to shake out. A lot of those teams on that list are having really good non-conference schedules. But you'll really know once they get in conference play how this race is going to shape up and who's going to be there at the end.
Final seconds. Let's go on offense for Boise State. Kuzmanovic, and he's in the book with his first 2. It's going to be a 27-point victory, unless the shot goes in.
Of course.
I knew I was speaking too soon.
The jinx.
But it is Broncos 5-1 on the year and winners of their first conference game. The Lobos now 3-1, 0-1 in conference. They'll meet again on Wednesday. The Mountain West Conference season is on.